Let's hit the road now. President Bola Tinubu has appointed Mr. Ibrahim Khalil Gaga as the Executive Director, Corporate Services at the Nigerian Export-Import Bank, Nexim. Mr. Gaga, a lawyer with over 25 years of experience in the banking sector, was the board secretary and legal advisor at Nexim Bank. The president expects that Mr. Gaga will bring to his new role renewed zeal and diligence to enhance Nexim's mandate. Similarly, DCG Kemi Nana Undag has been appointed by President Tinubu as the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, effective March 1st, 2024. DCG Nandap takes over from Mrs. Caroline Wuraola Adekwoju, whose term in office elapses in February 29, 2024. DCG Nandap was the Deputy Comptroller General in charge of the Passport Directorate of the service. She previously served as DCG in charge of Migration Directorate. In a statement, the President expresses confidence that the new Comptroller General will deepen ongoing reforms in the service and create a robust mechanism for efficient and dedicated service delivery to Nigerians, as well as strengthen the nation's security through proactive and effective border security and migration management. Nigeria's former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, has called on Nigerians to support the federal government in addressing challenges facing the nation. He made a call after meeting with President Bola Tinubu for the first time since the inauguration of the administration. General Gowon spoke to the State House correspondent, Abdurrahman Jibrila, on some issues discussed with the president, especially on the state of the nation.
We've got to Nigerians have to give the president time to get things really done, and it is too early to sort of say yes, that absolute result, perfect result would be achieved now. So that is my opinion. At least I know. I think if I remembered, I was told that I was fighting the war, I was too slow, and probably Nigeria cannot make it, and that we should not seek for discussion, well, did we do it or not? They probably do not know the problem in there on the ground.
State also made remarks on the developments in the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS.
Issue of the ECOWAS problem at the moment, which I think need to be resolved. And being the surviving leader or founding fathers of the ECOWAS, I think we had to discuss some of his plan in order to see what can be done to bring the matter under control. So this is what has brought me here, and we had a very interesting meeting.
General Yakubu Gowon there, and also a founding father of ECOWAS, has asked the authority of heads of states and government of the regional bloc to consider immediate lifting of sanctions on Niger to pave the way for further engagement with the military junta in the country. Kelvin of Onwaye reports.
At a World Press Conference at the ECOWAS Commission in Abuja, General Yakubu Gowon said the current situation in the sub-region negates the vision of his founding fathers. For him, ECOWAS is not just a coalition, but a brotherhood, and that the three countries, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, can still be persuaded to remain in the fold. While acknowledging the enormous gains ECOWAS has achieved since inception, General Gowon said it is time to chart a new course for the bloc and urge its leadership to immediately meet to discuss a way out of the situation now threatening its foundation.
On behalf of all
the founding fathers of the community, and myself, I urge ECOWAS authority of heads of state and government, including the leaders of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, to put aside their differences, and reunite for the peace, stability, and prosperity of our region.
The president of ECOWAS Commission, Aliu Omar Toure, received a letter from General Gowon with a promise to bring his content to the attention of the authority of heads of states and government of the regional bloc. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
In other news, the federal government has restated commitment to providing excellent healthcare facilities for all Nigerians to prioritize domestic and foreign investments in the sector. President Bola Tinubu made a commitment at a meeting with President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of the African Export-Import Bank, Professor Benedict Orama, accompanied by a delegation from King's College Hospital, London. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jabrila brings us details.
Afrexim Bank and King's College Hospital London is partnering to establish a first-rate healthcare facility in Abuja called African Medical Center of Excellence, scheduled for completion in 2025. President Tinubu, who was recently appointed the African Union Champion for Human Resource for Health and Community Health Delivery Partnership, emphasized that the continent cannot afford to remain behind in the quality and accessibility of healthcare system. He advised the Afrexim Bank not to relent in its commitment to investing in projects that will ensure that Africa possesses the expertise and resources to meet its own healthcare needs. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, explained that the bank and the King's College Hospital are also collaborating in building a medical and nursing school in line with the administration's commitment to expanding the training of healthcare professionals in the country. The Nigerian-born president of the bank, Professor Orama, pledged the bank's commitment to developing quality health infrastructure on the continent and contributing substantially to the reduction of medical tourism out of Africa while promoting intra-African trade and creating jobs in the country and continent.
Afrexim Bank intervenes all across the value chain. I discussed with the president the aspects of what we could do to support agriculture and also to support banks and make sure that we increase supply of foreign exchange to the country to stabilize the currency. The situation in Nigeria is difficult, but it's not unique to Nigeria. It's something happening all over across Africa, caused by challenges that started with the COVID-19 and of course the Ukraine crisis, then the rising interest rates and the sovereign debt crisis that is affecting many countries in Africa. We're intervening not only in Nigeria but other African countries to help them manage the negative impacts of these developments.
This significant step towards investing in Nigeria's healthcare sector is a great commitment to humanity, and the federal government says it is open and ready to assist this project in every way possible. From the State House, Abdurrahman Jabrila, NTA News.
Now talking politics, President Bola Tinubu has appealed to members of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Edo State to select candidates of their choice as the standard bearer of the party for the forthcoming governorship election in the state. Senator representing Edo North Senatorial District, Adam Soshomole, disclosed this to State House correspondents after he met behind closed doors with President Bola Tinubu. He said the APC National Working Committee had reasons to review the governorship primary election that was conducted last week due to controversies arising from the exercise.
Authority of the president to clarify this. His name should not be used recklessly by people who are afraid of free and fair election. What I'm committed to is that in a democracy, majority must necessarily have their way. You can't do it otherwise. There's no sentiment about it. Fairness means that the outcome is a reflection of the will of the people. Fairness is not when you allocate. So I will stop here to talk if I didn't have that discussion. I need to have that discussion so that Edo people will feel, Edo APC, at the level of the primaries, we feel free. I am not a product of zoning. I believe Nigeria will do better when he put his best foot forward. But the important thing is that I have the authority of the president, and you can cross-check. I told him, can I announce what I discussed, namely whether or not tomorrow's run-up election is based on zoning? And he said, no zoning. It's merit and fairness.
Oshimulu stressed that President Tinubu cautioned against any acts that would jeopardize the process of selecting a candidate. Away from Edo State, now heading to the National Assembly, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government to roll out palliatives nationwide to cushion the effect of food inflation, particularly on poor Nigerians. Adopting a motion to this effect, the Green Chamber mandated the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation to, as a matter of urgency, take the lead in providing these interventions. National Assembly correspondent Ienre tells us more.
Lawmakers argued on the floor of the House that fillers from their constituencies indicate that a number of citizens face harsh economic realities, hence the need for some form of succor from the government.
Life has become unbearable for the people of Ilela, who can barely feed anymore, as most of them who are involved in commercial activities have lost their means of livelihood. The federal government should swing into action in releasing the palliative that have already been listed as regards to the issue of subsidy removal.
There should be a time frame of 1 month for the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian to comply with this resolution.
Also urge all the state governors to complement the efforts of the federal government.
To ease movement of people, goods and services, the House also urged the Federal Ministry of Works to construct the Wamba-Shedam Lantang-Wase Road.
North Central region of Nigeria is well known for its agricultural potentials. The road will provide farmers with better access to market, enabling them to sell their produce more efficiently and effectively.
A motion seeking the modernization of Nigeria's emergency response infrastructure to serve the populace was also adopted.
More recently, the devastating explosion which occurred in Ibadan has highlighted the need for robust and coordinated emergency response system in the country.
Lawmakers kicked against a 60% increase in the tuition of the Nigerian law school.
From 296,000 naira to 476,000 naira. Urge the Council of Legal Education to put the Nigerian law school fees increment in abeyance.
Meanwhile, the House will this Thursday hold a special valedictory session in honor of the late 4th Assembly Speaker Gali Umar Naba, who died last December. Expected at the session are family members and former presiding officers of the House. From the National Assembly, Ienre, NTA News.
The current economic phase being experienced by Nigerians is only temporary, because President Bola Tinubu is working to fix a future that citizens will be proud of. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, at the Federal Ministry of Finance 2024 Management Retreat in Uyo, says in the meantime, government is doing everything possible to ease the pain of Nigerians. Danime Uko reports.
The retreat focuses on the role of the Ministry of Finance in achieving the 8 priorities of President Bola Tinubu. For the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, The era where the nation's commonwealth was shared between a few persons is over, as the current administration is taking steps to correct the anomaly.
Since May 29th, the country has been set on a course of macroeconomic stability. The unsustainable, wasteful expenditures that benefited just a few people at the cost of the majority have been done away with.
Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Umoeno, represented by his deputy, Akun Eyagenyi, charges the minister and staff of the ministry to justify the confidence reposed on them by the president as implementers of his renewed hope agenda.
This country has no business with hunger, food importation, and the level of unemployment we are currently experiencing if we go back to the farm.
The two-day retreat will end with the signing of a performance bond between the Minister of Finance, Permanent Secretary, directors and heads of agencies related to the Ministry of Finance. Dianime Uko, NTA News.
And still on the economy, with so much required to sanitize the forex market in the country, security operatives in another raid this Wednesday in Abuja arrested some operators. Abdullahi Ajia has a situation report.
Well, in a sustained effort by the government through the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to sanitize the forex market, especially in the nation's capital, Abuja, the officials have carried out another stint raid operations here at the Zone 4 office of the Bureau de Change operators. We learned that security operators came here to make some arrests of some of the operators this Wednesday afternoon.
We just come and met a convoy of police and a combined operation EFCC. Most of the time we used to have a meeting with the EFCC. Normally if they are coming to operate here, they used to let us know, and we do a combined operation with them. But this one is a different operation, so we are not aware of we are not invited.
As at the time of filing in this report, the currency market was devoid of its usual traffic and volume of business exchange as a result of the incidents. In Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
Meanwhile, skyrocketing prices of foodstuff is of serious challenge to Nigerians, even to the point of public protest in some cities. Now, while the federal government is rising to the challenge, the Taraba state government and its contribution to the solution is set to boost food production to achieve food security and empowerment of its people. To this effect, the state has inaugurated an Agriculture and Food Sustainability Committee in Jalingo. Ben Hanya tells us more.
Taraba State is endowed with vast arable land which is used for the cultivation of a variety of crops, ranging from grains, citrus, and root and tubers. Over time, the state has been confronted with insecurity and lack of agricultural mechanization, which has kept production majorly on the subsistence level. It is to find a lasting solution to this that Governor Bukefas has inaugurated the Taraba State Agriculture and Food Sustainability Committee, chaired by the Emir of Muri, Alhaji Abbas Njida Tafida. The governor said the inauguration of the committee is one of the steps taken to realize the agro-based industrialization component of his five-finger agenda and urged the people to all go back to farming. Governor Kefas said the committee is saddled with the responsibility of making innovations and developing strategies to maximize agricultural productivity, enhance the resilience of farmers, and increase the value chain in the agricultural sector.
This committee holds great importance as we strive to determine ways and means and secure the future for our beloved state. Therefore, it is crucial for us to harness the potential of our natural resources effectively and embark on sustainable agricultural practice that will ensure a continuous and abundant food supply.
All World Bank projects in the states belong to the state. So whatever they are doing to intervene in if they are doing your farmers, they are doing on behalf of the state. Because the state pays the counterpart.
My committee, God willing, will do whatever is necessary, involve everybody that is qualified to try to produce the answer His Excellency and the people of Taraba State expect.
Going forward, Taraba State is expected not to only achieve food sustainability and food security, but also feed other parts of Nigeria and beyond. In Jalingo, Bem Hanya, NTA News.
Many thanks, Bem. And from Taraba, we head to Yobe, still on efforts to address the prevailing food scarcity and ameliorate hardship citizens are experiencing. Governor Mimala Bani of Yobe State has inaugurated a 24-man committee on food security. The committee is saddled with the responsibility of halting export of grains outside the country and addressing the problem of hoarding of essential commodities within the state. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
The setting up of the 24-man committee was sequel to an emergency meeting on food security recently convened, where the state government notes and decries the practice of hoarding grains and other essential commodities in the state with a view to creating artificial scarcity as well as push profiteering to new level. Inaugurating the committee, Governor Mimala Buni represented says this attitude by some unpatriotic elements negates the earnings and aspirations of people of the state and therefore must be checked via the committee.
The responsibilities of this high-powered committee are indeed very large. In this regard, I would like to appeal to all members of the public to cooperate with the committee by providing vital information towards addressing the menace of food insecurity in the state.
He then mandated the committee to, among other things, liaise with security agencies to halt exports of grains outside the country and address the problem of hoarding of the commodities within the state. In its inaugural meeting, the committee assures to justify the confidence reposed in them through implementing measures that will address the problem of food insecurity in the state. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
In other news, the Department of State Services, DSS, is appealing to the organized labor to shelve its nationwide proposed protests in the interest of national peace. A statement by the Director, Public Relations and Strategic Communications of the service, Dr. Peter Afunaya, says the service recognizes such action as the legitimate right of the labor movement, but, however, urges the body to shelve the plan in the interest of peace and public order. The DSS further calls on parties to pursue dialogue and negotiation rather than engaging in conduct that could heighten tension. Similarly, the DSS advised parents and guardians to exert authority in guiding their children and wards from inimical acts capable of jeopardizing public safety and harmony, noting that the service will continue to work with other security and law enforcement agencies to ensure that lasting peace is maintained in the country. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetukun, condemns all forms of extortion and warns against the use of his name for such nefarious activities. In a statement, the IGP expresses deep concern, emphasizing that such actions would tarnish the reputation of his person and the police force, thereby eroding public trust. The IGP further warns that any officer found guilty of such will face severe disciplinary measures, urging officers to uphold transparency and professionalism, reiterating that the integrity of the Nigeria police force is at stake if such is not checked. Similarly, the IGP implores the public to exercise caution and report fraudulent activities or extortion, most especially in investigation of cases, while reassuring the public of his commitment to ensure accountability and root out misconduct at all levels in the Nigeria police force. Welcome back. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, has urged manufacturers of building materials to be considerate and reduce costs to complement government's effort of providing quality and affordable housing for Nigerians. The minister made the appeal during a meeting in Abuja with representatives of some manufacturing companies in Nigeria. Francis Udojo has the details.
The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, expressed displeasure over the hike in building materials, especially cement, with a bag going for between 8,500 naira to 9,000 naira as against 4,500 naira per bag few months ago. The minister noted that key building raw materials are sourced locally, hence the need for manufacturers to desist from causing unnecessary hardship for the end users.
We are more concerned than any other industry, especially when it comes to use of cement. You have to give at least 2 people from your end. So as to sit down holistically and look at this, what are the factors? What do you want from the government?
Chief Commercial Officer of Dangote Industries Limited, Rabiu Omar, and other stakeholders at the meeting argued that though raw materials, limestone and coal are sourced locally, it takes a lot of foreign-related items to produce cement and other building materials. One of the reasons for the hike, Rabiu said gas is almost half of the total cost of production, as most cement plants rely on gas to produce cement. In his response, the minister added that the matter needs to be examined critically because agreed that though gas supply constitutes a chunk of the percentage, some manufacturers are manipulating the situation under the mask of dollar rate, and it has to be critically looked into. Ahmed Musa Dangiwa told other manufacturing companies to regulate the manufacturing, marketing, and pricing of cement for the good of Nigerians. In Abuja, Francis Sudojo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the long-awaited construction of the popular Dede Idu Karimu Road in the Abuja Municipal Area Council of the FCT has received express approval of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. This was during the flag-off ceremony of the temporary access road to Saburi 1 and 2 communities. Onuze Yakubu brings us details.
This 5-kilometer temporary access road to Saburi 1 and 2 communities means a lot to the residents of the benefiting and other neighboring communities whose long-term dream has come to reality. But like Oliver Twist, they are asking for more road infrastructure at the grassroots.
Consequent upon the huge traffic of Gwagwa, Karimu, and Dede Road. Sir, even if you will not do anything again, please, sir, this is our humble request on this Gwagwa, Karimu, Dede Road.
And we have the abandoned regional market that has almost 800 shops uncompleted.
FCT Minister Nyesom Wike gave an express approval to the request very dear to their hearts.
He has said, Karimu, Gwagwa, Dede, and Idu. Now that road is very, very important. Are you in agreement with him? Is that what you want? Are you sure? It is our agreement that that road should be done. Consider it to be done.
The temporary access road connects the outer northern expressway through the old Kefi Road down to the Dede International Market, Abuja. Meanwhile, the minister was bestowed with the traditional title of Jagabon Kudun Jiwa by the Serkin Jiwa, Alhaji Idris Musa. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
And in Gombe State, the sum of about 6 billion naira has been set aside for the payment of gratuity to state and local government retirees in the state. This is part of memorandum approved by the Gombe State Executive Council. Emmanuel Akila reports that the council meeting began with the presentation of awards of excellence to Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya.
Presentation of awards of excellence by Deputy Governor Manasseh Daniel Jato to Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya, from media houses to corporate organizations, for the governor's performance in governance.
I want to celebrate it by thanking you and sharing with you, and equally encouraging you to do more, because as you do more, you'll get more recognized, and it is then that you will deliver on the needs and the mandate that the people have given to you.
After the council meeting, chaired by Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya, Commissioner for Information led his colleagues, whose memoranda were affected, to brief journalists.
About 9 memos were discussed and approved.
Among the approvals are the payment for gratuity to state and local government retirees, compensation to those whose property are affected by the relocation of some motor parks to the completed mega motor park.
Approval in the sum of 2.291 billion for the payment of gratuity to state government workers.
I have already earmarked over 3 billion naira for the payment of the retirees.
Other memos ratified are those for road projects and children nutrition.
Looking at the situation on ground, that if our children are not fed well, our children are not taken care of well in terms of health, the future of the state is not secured.
Council confirmed that the approvals are for immediate implementation. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Looking at other stories now, Nigeria and the Republic of Turkey are strengthening bilateral relations in the fields of energy, hydrocarbons, mining, and youth empowerment for mutual socio-economic benefits. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, said this while receiving the Turkish ambassador to Nigeria, Hadiyat Bayraktar, and his entourage in his office. Kenneth Nani feeds us.
Nigeria and Turkey over the years share a rich history of cooperation, mutually beneficial socio-economic relations. With the current socio-economic crunch being experienced globally, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, says it has become imperative to strengthen the legal framework on which 3 memoranda of understanding and 4 agreements were signed by Nigeria and the Republic of Turkey in 2011. George Akume re-emphasizes that Nigeria and Turkey share identical views on topical global issues and governance systems, particularly the need for greater inclusiveness to accommodate all interests across various regions of the world. The SGF commended support by Turkey to Nigeria on global politics and economic cooperation and points to personnel capacity development and purchase of military hardware for the Nigerian armed forces in the fight against insurgency as areas where the MOU signed have mutual impact. The ambassador also assures the SGF that the Republic of Turkey is committed to consolidating its socio-economic ties with the federal government of Nigeria to ensure that agreements and memoranda of understanding between the two countries are followed to the letter for mutual benefits. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The media has once again been charged to champion the cause of agenda setting for the benefits of the country. This came to the fore at a 5-day editorial management retreat by the News Agency of Nigeria held in Kaduna. Haruna Mohammed reports that the forum is the second of its kind since the assumption of duty of the managing director of the agency, Ali Muhammad Ali.
Calculate the volume of information that you receive at any point in time.
They are professionals in the business of information dissemination, and here the News Agency of Nigeria is dotting the I's and crossing the T's in all that cognitively connects the media to its audience.
Times have changed.
One after the other, facilitators reiterate the importance to uphold ethics, professionalism, content creation, and utilize the use of technology in tandem with the mission and vision of the agency.
The retreat will chart the way future of the News Agency of Nigeria, so that none operates the way it is supposed to operate. Like
the world is evolving, and everything must evolve with the world, including the way we tell our stories.
And in line with the theme, none, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, and the Managing Director of the agency, Ali Muhammad Ali, admonished the participants for a critical review and innovative thinking in information dissemination.
Nothing stops now from having non-television or non-radio. None can have all those things. It is really possible.
It's important to come together to understand and appreciate the clear and present danger where services like ours is facing, and the dawn of digital media and the impending dawn of artificial intelligence, the threats these challenges pose to agencies like ours, and also how to find a way to navigate through some of these identified challenges.
The media retreat has no doubt repositioned the media managers as the watchdog of the society. Their next course of action is to implement. In Kaduna, I'm Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
I'm sure you'd agree that the fourth estate of the realm needs all the attention. All right, to other news. When the petrol subsidy regime ended, the only thought on the minds of most motorists was how to make the fuel in their tanks last as long as possible, given the prevailing prices. Well, as they say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So the compressed natural gas-enabled vehicles came to the rescue. And as such, CNG-enabled buses flooded Abuja, Ogun State, to provide succor for commuters. Good news is the intervention is working beautifully, and the people want the state government to roll out more of such buses. Yemi Dalimo has a situation report.
The yellow and white color petrol-enabled buses, which Ogun State government converted to compressed natural gas CNG-powered buses, ply some designated routes within Abuja metropolis at reduced fare.
From Quarry to Itosh, 15 naira. I can just say that it was like they are giving us a free ride, because 15 naira is not much, even for the convenience of the students.
Workers are also beneficiaries of the CNG buses that operate within the hours of work resumption and close of work.
Since the inception of this workers' bus, this CNG most especially, it gives succor to workers, and just a token of 100 naira.
More of these buses are currently plying the routes in Abuja, conveying workers, students, and others to their locations. For instance, this bus behind me is taking the workers from Okemoson Government Secretariat to as far as Adaton and Pansheke area of Abuja at a reduced cost. Some people whose destination are along this route where these buses are plying are also taking advantage of these CNG-enabled buses to get to their destinations at a reduced cost. Already, the operational buses in Mowe, Ibafo, Arepo, and Bega axes are already fully booked. Citizens want government to extend the CNG bus services to other parts of Ogun State to ease the transportation needs of the people. In Abuja, Yemi Dalimo, NTA News.
Many thanks, Yemi. Seeing more of such buses on the roads across the country would definitely go a long way. Now, the federal government is setting an agenda for facility upgrade to drive customer satisfaction at the nation's airports through the public-private partnership. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development stated this at the inauguration of a befitting stopover accommodation and catering facility to improve Nigerian travelers' experience.
We have been working very hard behind the scene to attract private sector participation in our airports. This is just one of them. In the next few months to come, we are going to unveil more packages to you. Apart from the MRS, other people are coming to us, and it is part of the vigor that the new management team and the CEOs of the various agencies are bringing, the new energy they are bringing to the aviation sector. They are attracting private sector participation.
This is part of the aviation's policy drive to improve services at the nation's airports. Elsewhere, beneficiaries of the newly acquired office complex of the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi, in the southeast zone have expressed desire to put their potential to use for self-reliance as the agency boasts of creating 50 million jobs for Nigerian youths in 2 years. Chiogonu Aro reports.
Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi, is a federal government agency with a mandate of researching and processing food crops in exportable quantities for both local consumption and international markets. Inaugurating the complex, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, charged Nigerian youths to embrace innovation and technology as these are the hubs for future potential developments of the nation.
Nigeria's economic prosperity hinges on harnessing our abundant indigenous talents and raw materials to drive technological innovation. Our nation is blessed with diverse skills and natural resources across all 6 geopolitical zones.
Director General of the agency, Dr. Jumei Adamu, expressed hope that with the new complex and other ancillaries, the Southeast will become a hub for technological innovation.
As one of the leading research institutes in Nigeria, we are resolute to be at the forefront of the fight against the tri-evils of poverty, insecurity, and unemployment. As such, it is imperative to provide and also put in place the necessary infrastructures.
This is a very great achievement of this government, at least for us in the Southeast here. A lot of things will be achieved via this wonderful establishment.
This institute is going to help all and sundry in Southeast in the area of research and development in food security and food sustainability.
Goodwill messages came from sister agencies and key players in innovation, science, research, and technology. In Enugu, Chiegono Aro, NTA News.
Professor Hippolyte Amadi's emergence as winner of the 2023 NLNG Prize for Science is undoubtedly merited for his groundbreaking invention, a polite heart ventilator. Introduced in 2017, the invention has reduced the number of more than 846 babies who die daily and impacted 12 million Nigerians across the country. Amaka Owo reports that this was disclosed during a public presentation by the winner and business interactive session between the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas NLNG and the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Lagos.
Wherever a baby is born, my work is unique to them.
The Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Limited (NLNG) has since 2004 supported homegrown scientific solutions through its prestigious Nigeria Prize for Science that recognizes and rewards remarkable innovations.
I therefore call on scientists all over the world to submit entries for this year's prize, which is on innovations and technologies for reducing the effects of climate change. The theme is particularly fitting in view of challenges faced in Nigeria by climate change, carbonization, and other extant issues that currently pose serious challenge to the societal growth.
When I got the news of the Nigerian Science Prize Award for 2023, I was happy.
Professor Hippolyte Amadi, the 2023 Science Prize winner of $100,000 with his low-cost respiratory technology innovation for keeping Nigerian neonates alive as the most outstanding out of over 100 entries. He is a distinguished professor of medical technology at the Imo State University and a visiting professor of medical engineering at the Imperial College London. His current practice has covered about 25 tertiary hospitals in Nigeria.
We are a population of 280 million people, but we bury 846 babies every single day. So my dream was to strategically identify all the various pitfalls and components of this problem. I needed to create a technology that the Nigerian Naira could buy.
For the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, in the last 100 years, has continued to provide support to solution-based contributions to socio-economic problems such as funding medical research.
I started conversations with Nigeria LNG to see that this very useful life-saving device is available in most of our primary healthcare centers around Lagos.
The Nigeria LNG Limited is one of the highest paid dividend investments of the federal government that has ensured that Nigeria belongs to the Committee of Nations. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Many thanks, Amaka. Brilliant intervention there by Professor Hippolyte Amadi. Now, the federal government says it has reviewed the commitments made with the organized labor in the agreement entered, stressing that substantial progress has been made. On the payment of wage award of 35,000 naira for 6 months, the federal government says so far it has paid for 4 months up to 31st December 2023, while the remaining 2 months of January and February 2024 are being processed. A statement by the Minister of State for Labor and Employment in Kiruka, Onyejocha, states that on the Minimum Wage Committee, government has inaugurated a 37-member tripartite committee to review and come up with an acceptable and sustainable minimum wage for the Nigerian workers, and the committee has so far held 2 meetings and discussions are ongoing. With respect to the suspension of collection of value-added tax on diesel for 6 months beginning from October 2023, it was effected immediately. It is on record that no one has been subjected to this form of taxation since October 2023. On the provision of CNG buses and conversion kits, government notes that it has so far made substantial financial commitments in this area, as the buses will be rolled out very soon to alleviate the transportation challenges being faced by Nigerians. With respect to the outstanding salaries and wages of tertiary education workers in federal-owned educational institutions, government says it has paid in full the 4 months outstanding salaries to ASU as approved by President Tinubu, with action ongoing with respect to other unions as well. Language, just like culture, is what gives a people an identity. In Nigeria, there are more than 250 ethnic groups, each with its unique language. Sadly, some parents are adopting English as the lingua franca at home, signaling danger if nothing is done. So, as the world marks International Mother Language Day, focus is on encouraging existence of the nation's diverse languages among upcoming generations. Ngozi Technical reports.
Inakwana, Inauni. It shows who am I and people can identify me. Wala odudu, wala oroka, wala ne, nago, agba.
What does that mean?
Agba means thank you, nago means well done.
These children from various backgrounds are showing that they are well versed in their mother tongue. Could this be an indication that the over 500 indigenous languages spoken by more than 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria will not go into extinction after all, as predicted by UNESCO and other stakeholders? United Nations fears that a language disappears every 2 weeks along with its cultural and intellectual heritage. 172 Nigerian languages are currently on this danger list. At this year's International Mother Language Day, many say parents teaching their children their mother tongue is a sure way to reverse this trend.
Many are in an environment where the school teaches the child English, the society expects the child to speak English, and we are beginning gradually to forget our roots. It is important for many families to make it a duty, including me. I might be even guilty of that, communicating with English without remembering that we have a heritage and a culture to preserve.
It is necessary, most necessary, for you not to forget your origin. Your language is your origin. Your language is your identity. Your language defines your culture.
In strengthening efforts at preserving the nation's linguistic diversity as an identity and value, some suggest that government at all levels should initiate a fora for promoting indigenous languages.
If we have a program, let's call it a kind of a national program, only to promote these languages, believe you me, our young ones that are coming will not have issue of not knowing A and B of their mother tongue.
The theme for the 2024 International Mother Language Day is multilingual education, a pillar of learning and intergenerational learning.
Research by experts shows that multilingual and multicultural societies thrive better with the promotion and preservation of their languages. Hence, our mother tongue, our languages and our dialects goes beyond being the mode of communication to a legacy that will promote not just national but global diversity. Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
Well said, Ngozi. Now, the people of Ondo State today bid farewell to late Governor Akeredolu, who served as the state's helmsman for 6.5 years. Paul Omokwagu monitored these ceremonies and gives us a recap of the ambience in the state.
The people of Ondo State in Akure, the state capital, bid farewell to late Governor Akeredolu, who died in December 2023. Being a senior advocate of Nigeria, a special court session was held in his honor, after which he was laid in state at the Akure Township Stadium.
A man who was an exemplar of indefatigable courage, principled resistance with honesty and self-respect. In the annals of Ondo State leadership, Arakunrin's tenure will continue to be a good reference point.
Your profession taught him to stand firm, be bold, courageous, clear in all commitments to all causes that elevate the civilization of humanity. My late leader was by every inch an achiever and a success story.
Meanwhile, the Ondo State government has declared Thursday, 22nd and Friday, 23rd February 2023 as public holidays to enable the indigenes of the state pay their last respect to their beloved departed governor. On the political scene, many politicians are aspiring to occupy the Alabaga government house later in the year when the state will be going for its governorship polls, are already making their intentions known, and consultations have begun at the party level. What the people have said is that Governor Ayedatiwa and the aspirants for the gubernatorial race later in the year truly have big shoes to fill. Many other activities are still in the pipeline as activities move from Akure, the state capital, to Owo, the hometown of the former governor.
Many thanks, Paul. Now time to let us.
You're still watching News Extra. Let's now talk business. Trade analysts say there is need to expedite action to put in place the necessary things to facilitate the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement to enable countries like Nigeria drive economic growth and development as countries seek for ways to address rising cost of living.
The current Secretary General of African Continental Free Trade Area National Action Committee, in the name of Segun Awolowo, since he came on board, he said that Nigeria must participate under the second phase. So, among the 29 countries that are coming up under the second phase, Nigeria is going to be participating. Out of the conditions, about 8 of them, the last condition is gazetting. And just about a month and a half ago, the issue of gazetting has been resolved. So, Nigeria will participate. So, once we start participating, professionals in Nigeria can be prepared themselves to trade with other professionals across African countries. Because Nigeria, we have submitted our trading services schedule, which means we are ready to actually trade, import, and then sell our trading services.
And out to energy, crude oil futures rose Wednesday as Federal Reserve officials indicated that interest rates have likely reached their peak. The West Texas Intermediate crude contract for April gained 87 cents or 1.13% to settle at $77.91 a barrel. April Brent futures added 69 cents or 0.84% to settle at $83.03 a barrel, CNBC reports. Transaction on the floor of the stock exchange in Nigeria cancelled the bearish run in the week to close trading on a positive note this Wednesday. The NGX all-share index advanced marginally to 101,362.38 basis point. Market capitalization each up to 55.463 trillion naira from 55.299 trillion naira the previous day. Investors exchanged 302.7 million shares value at 6.552 billion naira in 8,611 deals. But that's business news. The News Extra continues with Ienre.
Many thanks, Musa, for the update. And just so you know, the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN, has inducted 465 accountants as members after satisfying all the requirements for admission. This occurred during the closing ceremony of the first session of ANAN's 2024 Mandatory Continuing Professional Development MCPD program in Lokoja. Ojonugwa Ata reports.
I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
This is the inauguration of new members of the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN, in Lokoja, following a series of trainings and examinations aimed at equipping them with the necessary skills to succeed in the global market. The ceremony serves as a recognition of their determination and diligence.
On behalf of all the inductees, we express our appreciation for inducting us into this great association.
I feel very great today being a member of ANAN, chartered. Alhamdulillah.
Dr. James Ekerare Neminembo, President and Chairman of ANAN, stated that the induction ceremonies are intended to formally admit individuals who have demonstrated the appropriate character and learning and who are willing to uphold the profession's ethics.
Continuous training to the accountants will give us the good bites, will give us the enablement to face the economy.
Lectures on debt management, risk mitigation in public finance, and the responsibilities of accountants formed part of the induction.
We can't do without debt. But what I just tell our viewers and every professional accountant is that we can only mitigate debt.
For us to advise properly so that there will not be hitch in the governance, so that they can key in to changes that we are facing now.
As the session concluded, members were urged to adhere strictly to the profession's core values of integrity, transparency, and accountability. Ojonugwa Ata, NTA News.
Fiditi town in Oyo State is popular for abundance of fruits. Another thing it's known for is housing old educational institutions, the likes of Fiditi Grammar School, a co-educational secondary institution established 70 years ago. Well, products of the school who have reached the echelon of their profession, including a former Director General of the NTA, Shola Omole, gathered in the town to celebrate their alma mater. Kendi Omolosho reports that it was a 3-day program of activities of giving back to the school that nurtured them.
Founded in 1954, Fiditi Grammar School prides itself in grooming students in cognitive and psychomotor knowledge so they can impact the society positively. Professor Kayode Alao, in his anniversary lecture, identified underfunding of education, unemployment, and corruption as indices of security challenges facing the country. Developing a sense of ownership by Old Students Association in a submission will save public schools from decay.
Up to 20 to 25% of education of budget should be allocated to education. Teachers must be happy, and the school system must be made productive.
If we keep pointing out the areas where there are deficiencies, I think the message will get to the powers that be, and this will bring about changes.
Old Students Associations can be a bridge between the past and future, as several academic institutions owe their survival and development to the interventions of these alumni bodies by engendering a spirit of unity necessary for surmounting difficult challenges facing their alma mater, as is being witnessed at Fiditi Grammar School.
The anniversary featured the inauguration of the Bode Olajumoke Youth Empowerment Foundation Center with facilities for training in carpentry, fashion designing, catering, information technology, and bricklaying.
A man who is able to fend for his family will be able to will have no need to go into crime.
If you can do work with your hands, then your chances of survival in the struggle out there is really enhanced.
Other activities for the anniversary includes quiz and debate competitions keenly contested but won by Fidelity Grammar School. Some of the alumnus reminisced on virtues imbibed from the college.
My advice to them is to face their study, and I'm seizing this opportunity to appreciate all the old students of Fidelity Grammar School of what they've been doing.
They should always see themselves on top as it used to be before.
From Fidelity, Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
Glad to have you back. Public and private information managers have been tasked to fill the trust deficit gaps and promote effective communication to enhance development in society. Hussaina Musa reports that this was the position of panelists and discussants at the 2024 conference of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Niger State chapter, held in Minna.
The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Niger State Chapter's conference and annual general meeting with the theme Public Relations in a Challenging Environment availed professionals and scholars alike the opportunity to review the challenges faced by media practitioners in strengthening the relationship between government and the citizens with a view to finding a sustainable solution.
No matter how good intentions of government, if they are not properly communicated and strategically managed, goodwill may sometimes be compromised.
The need for education to be given priority, because you lead educated, learned, knowledgeable people more easier than ignorant people.
Minister of Information and National Orientation was represented at the event.
I want to call on Niger State government and the state chapter in Nigeria to join hands with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Prime Minister of Information and National Orientation, ensuring the National Value Charter becomes a household name in Niger State. Beyond information dissemination, the lesson as enshrined in the charter must be inculcated into the life and hearts of the people.
The conference also featured a paper presentation on the role of stakeholders and communication in the new Niger agenda and presentation of gifts and certificates to individuals who have contributed to the growth of the institute. In Minna, Hussaina Musa, NTA News.
With Sports Update or Chair Mbere, NTA News.
And that's our package on News Extra tonight. I'm sure you enjoyed the extra. Thank you for watching. I'm Ienre John. Have a good night.